Okay, so you want to write your artist statement. Now, if you look at project 2, we have some valuable information right on this page. Doing a pattern tiles or coasters project. We're using a slab technique, and we have some of the requirements listed for you, so that will help you quite a bit, remind you of some of the things that we've done. So this page, what we're going to use is to just kind of outline our artist statement. You're going to need to have this document up. Your paragraph should be, for your statement, should be 3 paragraphs long. There are guiding questions below. You're going to include art vocabulary. You do not have to use all of these questions, but they're going to help you find the direction. So things like this the first paragraph is just explaining the project. Right? It's a good review for you, but also think about where your mind was then. What were you thinking? Were you excited for this project? Were you ready for it? So just write down some bullet points. What was this project about? We had to create 4 tiles, pattern tiles. We had to use carving and stamping. And one had to be expressive. We also had to use regular and irregular patterns. Put some notes. Slab building is a new technique for us. Carving and stamping, we might have done that in our last project. Then the second part, what actually happened. Okay? A lot of times, as we do our projects, we find out that things don't go exactly according to plan. So what did happen? So I'm doing this, just going through the steps. I rolled the slabs, and I'm putting a note there. That went okay. Right? It was okay. Planning the tiles, that took some time for me. And then carving, that was a little bit frustrating for me until I kind of slowed down. And then I got into it. Stamping went well, but it kind of distorted some of my tiles. So just a few notes there. Our third section, summarize your learning. Again, are you happy with the results? Are you successful in meeting the project's expectations? Meeting your expectations? What did we learn? What do we learn about ourselves, about the project? Right? And what are we good at? Like, focus on the positives, right? We're always our brain's very good at reminding us what we're not good at. We have to make an extra effort to remind ourselves, hey, what did go well here, right? What are some of the things that I was successful with? And so I'm just making some notes about how everything went. The slab rolling went pretty well. That was a new thing that I learned with slab rolling. I worked at a pretty good pace, I think. The tiles dried a little quicker than I thought. I enjoyed carving. I learned I can be a little impatient at times, right? But I'm getting better there. Alright, then you have to take that and turn it into an artist statement. Right, so write that out. The first paragraph, I just turned those into sentences. I explained I was assigned a pattern tile project. We had to create 4 tiles. We're using the slab building technique. We had both regular and irregular patterns, and we had to try both stamping and carving. Right? So it's quite a bit more thorough than our bullet points. In addition, we had to express something about us or ourselves. The project looked fairly easy, so I expected it to go well. I had tried carving in our past project. Right? And that last part's important. Right? What were my expectations going into it? And again, I just explain what happened. I made the clay, I rolled the slabs, I cut the squares. It is not as easy as it sounds, right? So I just made a note that my anticipation was a little off. And if you're going to say something like that, like, okay, that wasn't easy, explain why it wasn't easy. Because the clay was soft and it kept changing its shape because I was trying to cut those squares, and it's not easy to get 4 straight sides. When the tiles were drying to become leather hard, I planned my textures. So I'm outlining the steps and this reflecting on that, right? Since I haven't made a lot of textures, planning wasn't easy. There's so many choices, right? Eventually I decided with geometric shapes. And I went around the house and found things that I could stamp with. So that was my process. I researched shapes and I went and scavenged to find interesting things. The stamping went well. The carving was a challenge and I wasn't happy with it at first. So if I'm going to say that, I need to explain that I was going too fast. Eventually I slowed down. Carving became way more fun and I started to notice that if I angled my tool, I got some interesting edges. And our last paragraph again, summarize your learning. Are you happy with the project, right? And I was fairly happy with the tiles. If I had to do it again, I bet it would be better. But my stamping, I thought that was well done. I didn't love my designs. They were okay. I'm most happy with the carved piece. There's two. There's one with the carved texture and then one I call my wavy tile. The wavy tile reflects me and that I go with the flow. Right? I'm calm and pretty easy to get along with. So that is the part of the tile that tells about me. I just sum that up in a couple sentences. What did I learn from this project? Right? I learned to slow down, do little things well, like cutting squares and smoothing edges. And I also learned that I can rush my work. And I actually enjoy it more when I slow down. So for my next project, I'm going to continue to work on carving because I found I really enjoyed that this time. So 3 paragraphs. It's a bit to do. But with some practice, I think you will find the flow. Use these guiding questions to help you out. Any questions, of course, come and see me anytime. All right, take care.